round of applause for the AV team. Wow. Okay, I'm very curious and I would like to ask you a question. Who here thinks that a degree is very important for your future career prospects? Please raise your hand. Honestly, I think almost everyone. You want to guess who agrees with you? My parents. Has anyone here taken similar photos as a child? Yes? Yeah. I remember at 6 years old, my parents made me wake up and bring me half across the island to a very dark studio, and I heard that they spent a lot of money on this. And they made me wear this fake robe, fake mortar hat, and holding a blank piece of paper, pretending that it's a degree. And then, in my mind, I'm thinking like, what's the point? What's the point? I guess this photo represents my parents' hopes and dreams for me. Somehow, they believe that if I get a degree, I will find a good job, get some salary, and can leave the house and not bother them. And also, I can get married, have children, buy a car, buy a house, and so forth. In their head, this is the formula for success. A successful life somehow looks like this. Okay. Before I go on, can I ask who among us, your parents think very similarly? Can you just raise your hand? Wow, that's at least like 3/4. Okay? Looks like things haven't changed for the past 20 years. And so, I decided that, hey, this movie script is so boring, right? Like, I'm going to live this life, and then after that, my children, they are going to live this life, and my grandchildren, they are going to live this life. This is a rubbish movie script. So guess what I did? I followed the script. Hey, come on! I didn't know any better. I looked around me, my father followed the script, my uncles followed the script, my neighbors followed the script, my teachers, primary school, secondary school, JC teachers all followed the script. I sincerely didn't know whether there was any other path to take. So naturally, I just followed this same path. In fact, I followed it pretty well. I went to one of the top schools. Can you recognize this uniform? From Hwa Chong, yes. And not only did I go to a top school, I decided to join a top CCA called Students' Council and became the top guy in the Students' Council, which is why I'm sitting in the middle. By the way, that's me. I hope I haven't changed much over the years. So I was the president of the Students' Council in Hwa Chong. And my life was so bright in front of me. Like, wow, this guy is definitely going to make it in life. And in fact, I did so well, I earned a scholarship. Singapore Stock Exchange gave me a scholarship to study for free. 4 years of degree, totally paid for by Singapore Exchange, which made my father very proud. Not only can he now tell his relatives that, oh, 我的儿子是大学生, which means my son is a graduate, he can even say and boast now that 我的儿子有奖学金. My son has scholarship. I'm sure a lot of parents would be very proud if their children had scholarship. And so was I. I was very proud. It wasn't easy. I had to go for multiple rounds of interview and finally got it. And then I got a good job. Very, very high paying job. Every 2 years, I was promoted. I was in a financial industry, by the way. And I was even poached by a Japanese bank one day, and they asked me to name my price. And so I named some ridiculous figure like 10,000 per month, and they said, yes. Yeah. And so I started earning $10,000 per month at the age of 28. And then after that, at the age of 35, it grew to $20,000 per month. This was my life, and my father was loving it like, wow. So proud, so proud. That little boy who wore that robe and a mortarboard, he has become a successful finance professional. And family life is also wonderful. I got married to a wonderful, beautiful woman who still looks like this after 17 years of marriage. amazing. And then I had my first child, that over there. I tell you, that moment is so precious. Just holding the baby in your hand. In fact, the moment was so sweet to me, I decided to have a second one, and then a third one. Hey, come on! There's nothing much on TV. Yeah. So, I became a father of 3 children. And because I had 3 children, my wife had to quit her job, okay, to take care of the 3 children. And there I was, sole breadwinner, which was quite stressful, but thankfully I had a high salary, so it wasn't as stressful as I imagined it to be. So that was my life. I looked very, very successful on Facebook. Very successful. This guy with 3 children, a high-ranking officer. In fact, I flew to Hong Kong, became an expat based in Hong Kong, running the Asia Pac finance team. It was crazy. But deep inside, I was actually dying. In the office, I was dying. Wait. Sorry, I wasn't dying. I was dead. I was dead mentally. I wasn't really contributing in meetings. I wasn't giving my best. I was dead emotionally. I didn't feel any passion for my working life anymore. Every Monday morning, what I really, really wanted to do was to play with my 3 children, hold the hand of my darling wife, go to the beach, walk along the sand, and sing songs to her. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to have lunch with my parents, bring them out for movies. My parents are still alive and very healthy, so I want to spend more time with them. In the evening, I want to be able to do what I like, go jogging, go swimming, go play badminton. However, I went to office. Anyone wants to guess the reason? It starts with the letter M. Money. Wow, so excited are you? One more time? Money. Money was one of the key reasons that pulled me towards the office instead of to the beach. And therefore, I was dying inside. In fact, there's a special term for it. It starts with C. Anyone wants to guess?
Corporate zombie.
Wow, very good. Corporate zombie. Very funny phrase, corporate zombie. I wonder who invented this phrase. Anyone here watched a zombie movie before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very good, very good. I actually don't like zombie movies. I've only watched one, which is Train to Busan. And I observed the zombies doing this like. So they look pretty much alive, yes? Because they are moving around. But a spoiler alert, they're actually dead, no? Their heart is not pumping. Their brain is not moving. Only their body parts are moving. And they are out for blood and to suck your brain juice. So that's the zombie. How about corporate zombie? That means I looked like I was working because I physically went to office, but my mind was actually at the beach holding the hand of my wife. My heart was actually thirsting and hungering for something else, more meaningful. Maybe volunteer job, maybe going to Cambodia, start an orphanage, talking to my friends, talking to my family about their life, about achievement of their dreams. But no, my body was stuck at work. And then I thought I was very unique. Maybe I have some special virus. Maybe I need help. And then guess what? I read the newspapers. More than half of companies in Singapore have corporate zombies. And I thought maybe this is an outlier, you know. This was way back in 2016. Maybe it will become better in 2017. And then 2017, the report says, stuck in a pointless job, many employees feel disengaged and unhappy at work. Okay, maybe 2018 will be better, okay? 2018, Singapore workers among those in region least satisfied with their employers and with their job. In fact, we rank the lowest in Asia when it comes to job engagement. Are you surprised by this, by the way?
No.
So sad, right? In fact, you don't need reports like this. Just look around you. Ask your parents. I tell you, currently in my line of work, I meet a lot of zombies. They all come to me like I'm a doctor and I can give some vaccination to them. there are a lot of zombies in Singapore. And the question bothering me at the time was, is there a cure? Do you think there's a cure?
Yes.
I wasn't sure. If I was sure, I would have sought for a cure. So I continued in my job. Although I hated it, although it was only for the money, but I just continued because I could see no cure. I could see no way out. Being a Christian, I kept praying, like, oh, dear God, please save me. Please give me a cure. And then I see a vision. I see an envelope. And when I open the envelope, I see, dear Eugene Seah, you've just inherited $500 million from your great-grand-uncle in South Africa. Amazing! Yeah, my great-grand-uncle went to South Africa, who knows? And in 2013, December, God answered my prayer. I went to office, and someone handed me an envelope. I opened and it said, dear Eugene Seah, your role has been made redundant. What? Where's my $500 million? There's something wrong with the vision. Wait, I think this letter is for someone else. But no, it was for me. On that day, I lost my job. In fact, HR gave me 5 minutes to leave the building. They were afraid that I would steal the company confidential data. And so, without any dignity, escorted by the security officer, I left the building. After that, I was totally confused. I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm a scholar, for goodness sake. Right, I'm one of the top students. I was promoted every 2 years. How can this happen to me? And so, guess what? I tried to look for another high-ranking job. I sent out resume after resume in Hong Kong, then in Singapore. I went for hundreds of job interviews. Rejection, rejection, rejection. 9 months. 9 months without a job. Is that a long time to you? It's extremely long time. My entire bank account was sucked dry. You know sucked dry by who? By my wife and 3 children. It's really sad. I can joke about it now, but during those days, I remember walking around in the shopping center and I was feeling hungry. It's lunchtime. And last time, when I had a job, I could walk into Sake Sushi, Swensen, and buy anything I wanted. But being jobless for a few months, with almost zero in my bank account, I could only eat one thing. You want to guess?
Grass.
And it's not McDonald's.
Grass.
Grass? It's cai peng. Economy rice. I'm so thankful I actually stayed in Singapore because in Hong Kong there's no cai peng. In a lot of countries there's no cai peng. I just came back from US and there's zero cai peng. So in Singapore there's lots and lots of cai peng. What do you call it? Economy rice. That means you can pick the dishes. And so I have a strict budget of $2.50 per meal and having only 2 meals per day. Just so that I can continue sending my children to school. And when that didn't work as well, I asked the government for handouts. Our government is very, very, very kind. When you are jobless for 9 months, they actually sponsor your children's studies. And not only that, they send me meal coupons. That means my children who were on the financial assistance scheme, they could go to school, not spend any real dollar, and just use the meal coupon for the food. That worked very well for me, but you want to guess how my children felt?
Poor.
They felt very poor. They felt bullied. They felt disadvantaged. Just talking about it makes me feel sad. I feel that I'm a failure. How can I work for so many years in a job that I don't like for money, and yet now I have no money? What irony, what tragedy, what kind of sick joke is God playing on my life? And so, when I had no job, no money, completely no plan for my life, it was at that point in my life, a switch in my head turned on. I was thinking, wait a minute. Are you saying that I can start life from scratch? I can do anything I want for the next 40, 50 years? Hey, this is not such a bad deal. This is not the worst time of my life. This is the And so I sat down, put a piece of blank paper on my desk and started brainstorming. What am I good at doing? What do I love doing? What do I do that makes me feel alive, not like a zombie? And I decided, yes, I'm going to do something that is the cure. Would you like to know what's the cure? Only one person. Later you stay back and I talk to you. Would you like to know what's the cure?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let me share with you the cure. The cure is this. On one hand, we already know that working for money doesn't work. That is not the cure. That's the poison. On the other hand, that is the cure, and that starts with M also. Were you listening to my speech? It's what? Meaning. One more time. Meaning. I can look for a meaningful career, or maybe start a meaningful business. And by doing so, I will stop becoming a zombie. I will start to find fun and fulfillment and impact in my life. Easier said than done, right? I wish I could tell you that life has been rosy in the past 5 years. But it was not. Okay, there were many times I had self-doubt. I was thinking like, yes, this is very meaningful, but people are misunderstanding me. People are backstabbing me. People are saying nasty things on Facebook about me. There were moments, because no one is paying me a monthly salary, where I was worried. I couldn't sleep at night. And I thought to myself, why am I being so selfish? I should just work for a regular job for money and wait until my children grow up. Then I can look for a meaningful career at the age of 65. Which is what some people think, by the way. And then, wait, what am I doing? God already kicked me out of the coffin, and then I could breathe fresh air, look at the rainbow, and now I'm trying to climb back into the coffin. There's something wrong with me. No, I've had enough. I don't know where the money is coming from, but by hook or by crook, I'm going to pursue a meaningful career and start a meaningful business, which is exactly what I did. This has been my life for the past 5 years, and this is the meaning of my life. Personal growth. Look at the forest. Do you believe that one day it was all seeds lying around? And that hundreds and thousands of years later, it became trees taller than us? Isn't this what life is about? We go through studies, and I know you sometimes don't like studying. Sometimes you don't like exams. But you go through it. And then sometimes we have family issues, we quarrel. Sometimes we have financial difficulties. But through it all, we are actually growing. And this is the meaning of my life. I decided to start a life coaching business where I focus on personal growth. First, I grow, then I help people around me to grow. Once again, I don't want to paint a beautiful picture to you that, wow, life is happily ever after. There have been struggles, but boy, do I feel alive. I've never felt more alive than in the past 5 years. This is my new life, and this is my new career. I fly around the world. I've been interviewed by media, TV, radio, newspapers, on blogs, sharing what life is about. What is the meaning of life? What's the meaning of work? And I love it. I love every moment of it. And I'm very proud of the fact that now I can be a role model for my 3 children. That they don't have to follow the old movie script. No. They don't have to look for a regular job that they don't like just for the salary. They can look at their father and know for sure, no, there's a different script that they can follow. There's a different path that they can go and embark upon. There's a different mountain that they can climb. Today, I'm here not to just share my story. I strongly believe that you're not sitting there out of coincidence. In fact, I do not believe in coincidence. I believe that you are seated there for a very, very special purpose. That something or someone wants you to sit there right now. In fact, even people watching me on video, it is not a coincidence. Right now, it is not about my story. It is about your story. you have to make a decision. You have no choice. Right now, you have to make a decision, and I would like to invite you to stand up. Please stand up right now after listening to my speech. It is time to reflect, to recharge, to rethink. Let's think about your life right now. You can decide to work for money, no problem. Okay, it is your life, not my life. You can decide to pursue a job simply because it pays well. You can, it's your life. And then one day, there's a possibility you may become like me, a zombie. Very disengaged, very unhappy with your job, unhappy with your life, and maybe even become depressed and suicidal. Maybe. And one day, when you grow old, you'll wake up from your bed and look back at your life, and you'll be filled with regrets. You'll be thinking, why didn't I listen to Eugene Xia? Why didn't I make the right decision there at that TEDx talk? But on the other hand, you can decide after this event, when you leave this place, to live a very different life based on a very different script. Very different from your previous generation. Very different from the rest of the population in Singapore. I'm not asking you to start a business. I'm asking you to choose a meaningful career, even if it doesn't pay well. And talking about money, I would like to share a piece of good news with you. 2 years ago, my income actually exceeded and surpassed my banking income. And then it dawned upon me, wait a minute, it is a joke, but the joke is not on me. I can actually decide for a meaningful career and still get the money. But if I choose only to work for money, I will not get the meaning. So right now, I would like you to place a word in your head. And the word is either money or meaning. And at the count of 3, I would like you to shout out the word that you have chosen for the rest of your life. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Meaning.
I heard money? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Meaning.
Please take a seat. Give yourself a round of applause. I heard someone shout both. Huh? I do have both now, but you must first prioritize something. Thank you for choosing meaning. I've chosen meaning some years ago, and today I live to tell you the tale. However, I would like to end with this caution. There will be times where you will be tempted. Because the bill came, and you sought for meaning, but you couldn't pay the bill, and you start to hate me. And usually start talking nonsense. You must be lying. I want you to remember this phrase that I'm about to show you during those dark days, where you almost want to give up, where your family laugh at you, spit at you, where your friends laugh behind your back. I want you to remember this sentence I'm about to show you as the conclusion. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's read it out together. 1, 2, 3. Life's too short to waste on regrets. Choose wisely. Thank you very much.